Stick, 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 round of the hand. Stick, round.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death, go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome. We are here. It is 2023. Parents Unite. Jamie Kaler, my pal Jason Gowan. Wishing
Hello.
all a happy new year here from the Parents Lounge. Kate
I'm
Mullen.
already calling it a wash.
This is, dude, everyone goes, how's it going? I go, this is the year, baby. I can feel it. I mean, it's got to be better than the last.
My favorite is when you posted that. Everybody thought you were being really optimistic. I was like, they missed the joke entirely there.
Oh, you can tell the people who know me. Because when people read typically something I write, they just read it with sarcasm. I don't have to put sarcasm anymore. People just know they do it that. Happy New Year, everybody. We are excited for tonight's show. We got a lot to get off our chest. My kids go back to school in the morning, so I have them in bed reading as we speak. It's 7 p.m. here on the Pacific because they have been sleeping in later and later each day for the last 2.5 weeks of Christmas break. And tomorrow we have to get up at 6:30 and be at school by like 7:45. So
it did not go well. Today was our first day back, and it didn't go well.
Well, what happened?
The twins ran amok. One of them got outside again. They're like
You're talking about them like they're feral cats. Like you go.
You've met my kids. They are.
Well, they got opposable thumbs. They can work doors. You gotta do something. Get rid of the thumbs, or
we reinforced that back door.
You gotta with those monsters, they'll get out and do stuff. So
they did, and I'm like, and he was out there. He has no shirt. He has no pants on. He's just out there
in the snow.
Yeah, he just didn't even care. He didn't care.
50 degrees here, and my daughter was in shorts and a t-shirt. I was freezing. I took her on a bike ride. We went up to the park, and I'm like, "Aren't you cold?" She's like, "No, not at all." You can just see one day that kid's gonna have caffeine, and it's gonna be Tasmanian devil time. I don't know if we're gonna make it.
Wait, Hannah or Claire?
Hannah. Hannah's like, that kid is wound.
She was talking shit to me right before the show started.
She talks. Yeah. And what did you say to her?
Wait, what did I say to her?
You said, "Oh, I know that."
Right. Yeah, I said, "What's it like dealing with a tiny version of yourself?"
It's painful. It's super. I feel like Frankenstein, and like my henchman put an abnormal brain in it. By the way, speaking of, not to go tangential really quick, and alarms did not go off this morning over here. Travis Gilbert says my kids go back in the morning as well. Should be a fun morning. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be super fun. So we're going to keep this pretty tight for everybody. I have a hard out of 8. But speaking of like I actually wonder that with most parents, like, do your kids become little versions of yourself?
Well, I think our guest tonight will probably be able to tell you.
He's gonna have
he's got a good cross sample. If anybody's got a good cross sample, it's him.
Let's send some love, everybody, to Kate Mulligan. Go over and find her on her social media page.
She's only on Instagram and Twitter.
She's in Chicago. Her he's working on a show, so he's back here. He's a writer, producer, creator, and he is in the middle of working. So she had to take the kids back to Chicago. And I don't know if you guys remember last week, her kids were sick, like vomitous and
Fire hosing was the term
double
she
ended.
used.
Yeah, she was like double ending it. And apparently they are still, she's like, I'm not going to make it, man. We said, hey, you doing the show tonight? She's like, I can't. I'm hanging on by a thread. So let's just hope she doesn't fake her death and move to Bali, like I always say I'm going to do.
She might do it this time. Honestly, she did not sound good.
No, we love her, and she's like, my husband's working, and I go, I feel like you're working. You got the worst part of that job with the kids. Her kids. Listen, I've been trapped with my two for when did we get out? It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks with the kids. Three weeks.
Well, yeah, because you had a little extra time at the beginning, right?
Sure did. We had 3 weeks with my children, which was fantastic. And actually, I'm pretty proud of Hannah because it took 3 weeks, but we finally completed the extra credit packet. That was.
Oh wow, you got it done.
Oh my god, dude! It's like I don't want to be the warden of a.
But you are the warden.
I don't want the job of it. It's like, you say the same thing.
You're a powerful seed, then, Kaylor.
I am starting to. I like today. It was like, hey, can you clean the cookies off? She like ate an Oreo. She had to have Oreos. Kate does rule. Hoping for the best. Yeah, she's doing okay. Everybody's good, but she'll
be back next week.
Yeah, she'll be back next week. Actually, we have a crazy show. Bill Engvall's here next week, who just performed his last big stand-up show this past Friday. He was all over the news channels. He had a big interview on Fox, I think, and he was talking about his career and the fact that he is retired, and that was his last show Friday on the road. And he's going to come on the show all next. He's our guest next week, and he's going to talk about his life on the road and raising kids while he was basically on the road. So that should be super fun. Let's get to it, dude. We don't have a lot of time. Let's do it. And this guy is, honestly, he is the reason we're together.
Yes, that is correct. So all of you, thank him because he did this.
Or blame him. I don't know which.
Bit of both.
Yeah. You want to do the honors, sir?
Yeah, it's Dave Schrader.
No, slow your roll. That's too much accolades for one man.
He's been on every paranormal television ever.
I'd like tonight, though, to be referred to as #we're all mulligan.
Yes, we are all mulligans. And when she says, hey, I'm going to take a mulligan on this week's show, we get it. That's by the way, he is TV's Dave Schrader. Let's not forget that.
That's true.
Yeah, I was. I don't know anymore. TV's crazy right now, Jamie Kaylor. I don't know if you know that, but
I know that.
Yeah, networks are indecisive. Things are crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I know you're echoing, so we'll work on that while I chat.
He's not echoing for me.
Oh, he's echoing. Am I echoing myself now? God, since Schrader echoed me. Schrader, are any of your kids exactly like you? Are they mini to the point where you hate yourself and you go, God, why do I have to have a kid that's exactly like me?
I kind of feel like I've let part of my family down because they're so much like me. And I feel like I've failed them. And does that make sense? I'm just like, you should be better than me. And you're just me. But that's okay. Kids are kids. And I'm hoping for the best in the future. I think, I've set a bad precedent though, because I'm the guy who kind of skates by in life. And I haven't held a real job in like 20 years. And I just so my kids are like, Dad, you hated high school. You only made it through a year and a half of college and pretty much just, chased skirts and did radio. So, you've been okay for your life. I think I'll make it that way too. And that they just didn't have the desire I had to do what I do. And so I don't know. It's an interesting world. I feel I do feel like I've let some of my kids down.
They're really good at Pokemon Go. I've noticed they're really adding in the game. Yeah.
Well, and as soon as we can figure out a way to get that paid,
which I'm sure you can listen, go online, and there are people getting paid where I'm like, wow, you figured out how to monetize that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like, I'm not sure what it is, but people are sending you money. Bitch, by the way, we can get stars now, can't we?
We can. So if you're watching on Facebook, we click the little stars button down there and give us some accolades because they can be turned into ka-chingle chingle. And we need
Yes.
we need the
And if you're
validation.
listening to this after the live show and you're on iTunes, then just go subscribe and write a beautiful review telling me that I'm your favorite. That's really would make me feel the best.
I would also like that.
Yeah, well, I already did it. I reviewed it and I said that you were my favorite.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
I did. And I said, please, Schrader, no more Schrader. No Schrader. Too much.
What the deuce?
Anyway.
He's the host of the highly revered Paranormal 60.
You want to hear something I did today? This is crazy. I had to go to the grocery store and it wasn't very far. And I let my daughter, my 9-year-old, sit in the front seat for the first time ever. And she was like, she sat there, she played with the radio. It was like, her head was exploding.
New world.
And she used a seat warmer, warmed her butt. It was really like epic. And I tried to be, I've been trying to treat her like an adult lately because, over this whole week, and she had done I beat her up to do all this extra credit work. She had to their country's France. She had to look up all the tradition of France. She had to do a book report. We read The Wizard of Oz over the last 2 weeks. I actually sat and read a page. She read a page, and then she would read to me. By the way, very different from the movie. I don't know if you know this. Not ruby slippers. They're silver slippers. Did you know all this?
Yeah. And there's no singing in the book. None.
None. And there's hammerhead characters, and there's all kinds of weird, crazy stuff.
Pumpkin heads. Well, you want to really throw a monkey wrench in it. There's a book out there called Wicked. And it's telling the backstory of the Wicked Witch. And I picked it up because my kids love Wizard of Oz. I figured I'd read this book and then maybe pass it on to my daughter. No.
Oh, because when you said that, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. You're saying it's very dark.
The Broadway play is amazing.
She saw it.
Yes. Right. Okay. So
when she was
the book does not follow the story?
No, the book, let's see. In the book, you find out that Elphaba, who is the Wicked Witch, she is basically the bastard child of her mother and some traveling salesman while her father was out working, trying to protect them. She slept with this green-skinned salesman who knocked her up and created Elphaba. And then at one point in the book, if I'm lying, I'm dying here. I swear to God. At one point in the book, Elphaba and her little high school friends go into some kind of crazy orgy with talking animals and crazy characters and strippers. It's a beautifully written book and really well crafted for what it is.
By the way, I went into that place in 1989. I was in San Diego. I had just get out there in the Navy, and that bar was off the animals, crazy stuff, and it was super fun. Super fun.
That was showbiz. That was Showbiz Pizza, Jamie. That you were in. You were just really high.
Oh, shit. Is that what it's called? Showbiz Pizza?
Yeah.
He made love to the Beagle Band on the stage.
Crazy.
It's funny.
Listen, I wanted to join you guys a couple weeks ago. I was watching when you were talking about thank you. When you guys were talking about the holidays and how much do you tell your children and what to tell your children. And I've kind of reached this weird point in my life where we have one kid left who's still a believer. Right? Well, I'm just saying in magic everything. And
I brought the volume down so no one my kids are in the other room.
So well, I'm not going to go down that path, but what I am going to go down is I had an interesting moment with my son 15, 16 years ago. He is I go pick him up. He's coming to my house for the weekend. He's about 4, 5 years old, whatever, and he's steaming, arms folded, and he's just looking out the window, and you could tell the little brain is just whirring. And I go, "What's wrong, buddy?" And he goes, "I lost a tooth yesterday." I said, "Oh, very cool. Well, what happened?" And he goes, "Well, I put it underneath my pillow." And I couldn't fall asleep last night, Dad. And after about an hour or so, I saw somebody walking outside my bedroom door. So I squeezed my eyes like I was sleeping. And my stepdad, Keith, walked in the room. I'm like, okay, what happened next? He goes, he reached underneath my pillow. And then he left my room. So I was laying there thinking, what did he just do? And this kid's like 4.5, 5 years old. He's working this magic out, right? And then he goes, so I lift my pillow and there's $1. I'm like, wow, jig's up, right? This is it. And I go, well, what does that mean? And he goes, I think he's getting a lot more from my teeth and he's only leaving me $1. So my son worked out in his mind that there's like this black market cartel that stepdads are stealing kids' teeth, getting like $20 a tooth for it and only leaving a crappy $1 underneath the pillow.
Yeah,
And
that gang is real. They're called the Purple Incisors.
That's funny.
the purple
I
incisors.
thought you were going to end the story with, and when you go, what does that mean to you? I thought you were going to say, he said, I think your ex-wife married the tooth fairy.
Oh, that would have been a great line. No, but
you were going. I was like,
but I that's cute. See, that's like a Hollywood ending for you, Caleb. Me, I just love the fact that he's like thinking this
never thinks that way. My brain never thinks that way.
My son's thinking like Tony Soprano stuff, like, oh, they're working a deal. They're stealing my teeth, getting more money, and leaving me $1.
Yeah.
So
I
thought that was
gave me
pretty
a
good.
cut. You got to give me
give me
a taste. I only got $1 out of this thing.
So, I didn't have to face that answer. And luckily I've dodged it in most cases. Moms have had to be the ones to rain on parades. Well, I was driving my son to school a couple weeks ago, just before Christmas. And he mentions blue balls. He's 10 years old. Okay. And I go, what do you mean? And he goes, yeah, blue balls. Those aren't even a thing. And I go, don't believe the women propaganda. They are a thing. It's a real thing.
Definitely a thing.
And he's like, really? And then all of a sudden my brain clicks into, oh, I'm not talking to like a teenager here. I'm not talking to Jamie or Jason. And I just kind of froze. And he goes, is it because it's so cold out? Is that why they're blue? And I go, that's exactly why they're blue. And I drive about a half a block and I turn to him and I go, I just lied. That's not why they're blue. Because in my brain, in that half a block drive, I saw him at school going up to his buddies today and going, woo, my balls are blue today. It's so cold out here. And I was like, I can't have him be that kid going in. So I go, that's not what blue balls are, buddy. And it's adult. It's a lot more. Well, what is it? All right. So when a boy and a girl like each other and they're kissing, and sometimes when you wake up and parts of you are hard that aren't normally hard, he goes, yeah. And I said, well, when you're kissing a girl, that's the beginnings of lovemaking. That's how babies are made. And if you get to that certain level and then stop, there's this pain, and it's referred to as blue balls. And he just goes,
marriage.
Yeah, he turns to me and he goes, and he just looks at me and he goes, does mom give you blue balls? And I said, you know what, bud? What happens between me and mom is none of your business. But let me just say this. Don't go to school and talk about blue balls. Yeah. And I told you the real truth so that you didn't go make a jerk of yourself at school telling all your buddies how blue your balls are because it's freezing in Minnesota. But I have to suddenly start to think a couple steps ahead now, because Max is the kind of kid that will repeat things because he's like, oh, they said this is what it is. Why would he lie to me? So I had to then you got to step back. But at what age do you look at a kid and you're like, I got to explain blue balls to a 10-year-old?
Well, let me ask you this. What kind of kid doesn't repeat what they say? When you go, he's the kind of kid that repeats what he hears.
Yeah. Although I don't want to, but I was brutally abused growing up. I was bullied like crazy at school for everything. You remember that stupid Payday candy bar commercial? Everybody loves Payday. people would
Oh.
sing "Everybody Hates Shrey Day," and they would sing that to me, and broke my heart. Used to kick my ass. I was a little ginger. I looked like Ronnie Howard, so everybody'd call me Opie or make fun of me. It sucked. And you do things, and your parents tell you things to try to keep you a child, and then you say something, and the kid, somebody knows more than you always, and then you just get mocked. And I just figured, let me just tell the kid what's the score here, and then tell him why he shouldn't be talking about this.
I mean, you talking about blue balls, especially as a young gentleman who fathered a child at the age of 14.
14. Yeah.
Dude, most of us were blue at 14 to 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
You were like, nah, I'm good. I got something. I love it. You're like, I got bullied. No, you were getting banged is what you were.
No, it took me 14 years to get to the point of getting banged. I was bullied from early on until about 12 years old.
Oh, straight up.
But you probably beat some of those other guys by a good 3-4 years. So in some ways, you got your revenge.
Oh, especially when I slept with some of their sisters later in life. Yeah.
You're a monster. You're a monster. How was everybody's New Year, by the way?
Oh, wait. Did I just see Judgment, Judgy Judgerton, Jamie Kaler?
Who's not? Why am I not Judgy Judgerton?
I don't know.
Come on, that's my gag. I judge.
Welcome to the Parents Lounge. This is a typical Tuesday night.
Typically, I just judge myself pretty harshly on the most.
And also me quite a bit.
Hey, I've been haven't had a drink since New Year's Eve, so there's that.
That is a long time for you.
3 days. We quit drinking.
How you feeling?
I feel good. I went for a long walk today. It was a good day.
That's like the guy trying to convince himself he doesn't have blue balls. I'm fine. I'm just gonna go walk out in the cold in my underwear.
Guys, I'm fine. It's gonna be okay.
Good.
We actually had people over here. My wife, because we got Southwested. Did you not? We got Southwest. We spent 12 hours. We covered this last show, but we spent 12 hours in an airport, LAX, which is one of the worst airports on earth, on Christmas Day. And then our whole trip got canceled, and then we were trapped in the house. So my wife was like, we're making up for it. So we, of course, went to some sledding place for $400 for like 4 sled runs. It was like punch in the face, stupid. And then she's like, we're having a New Year's Eve party. And so we had all my daughter's friends and their parents over, like 25, 30 people or whatever. It kind of got pretty big. And I was running karaoke, and I bartended. And so I ran karaoke for about, I'm going to say 10 kids on New Year's Eve for like numerous hours, where I was like, stop screaming into the microphone. Stop screaming into the microphone for like 4 hours. That was me just screaming. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Singing.
Oh, the pain of being popular.
Another Shrek song or a million. If I hear A Million Dreams Again, or the theme from Harry Potter, I'm gonna like punch myself in the face.
Are there words to that?
Apparently there are. There are.
Do. They just
There are, and the words are really super hard. And this one girl who's a really big Harry Potter fan was like, she came to me, she's like, I want to sing the Harry Potter theme song or something. I go, what are you talking about? And she goes, it's there, it's on YouTube, and you just download. Like I have a amp system, and then the whole system.
It's a real song, or is
it is? It's on
right now?
a YouTube thing, and it was like Harry Potter's coming, everybody's having time, and it's like this just rap over it's like 1 minute and 8 seconds long, and it was fantastic. And
well, we had a house full of COVID here, so we did nothing for.
Were you sick over the first?
Everybody, no, I avoided it. My wife, my daughters had it, my grandson had it, my other daughter got it. Everybody was down with COVID, so I spent a lot of time just cleaning. And
my wife must have loved. She probably wanted it because she keeps like the kids have had a cough for like 2 months, like every other kid on earth. Is everyone who's watching? Everyone's kid sick?
Oh yeah.
What do? Yeah. You put a mask on kids for 3 years, and then their immune system's like, whoa, back up. What's happening? And so they've had they both had the flu, then they had RSV, and then Claire was kind of sick for the last couple of nights, like coughing all night or whatever. And so of course everyone's getting tested for COVID. We didn't have it, but at this point, I'm like, don't even test. What's the point, man? Let's just we're sick. Everyone's sick. Just know that. But I'm not keeping them out of school. You're
the worst. You're a monster.
I don't know what to do. Listen, I've had it 3 times, dude. I paid my dues.
I've had it 3 times, and I've had 4 shots. Son of a bitch.
My friend had the shot, and he was
Mhm.
hurting for like weeks. Like
Yeah.
I don't
I
want
did okay.
I don't want to talk,
Yeah.
talk about this. But yeah,
Anyway,
how do
hey,
you
let,
think?
let me sledding. So I grew up in Illinois. My dad is this tough Chicago construction worker, right? And we had this big sledding hill by our house, right over by the train tracks. And of course, that's the side you don't go down because it ends on train tracks. The other one is just this long, slopey hill. And you have to wait in this long line, and these kids are going. And do you remember those blue sheets of plastic? You unfurl them and you lay on
Oh
them,
yeah.
and they're sliver thin. I had a red hard coaster. My dad had the little carpet, and he goes, "What are we waiting over here for these suckers for? Let's go down this side." And it's this beautiful slope nobody's going down. And my dad grabs the handles and throws himself forward, so he's head first going down this hill. We found out why nobody goes down that side. It's all uneven rocks. So my dad is Fred Flintstone.
Oh no.
The whole time down, all you hear is as he's hitting every bump. It's the bottom. I come sliding down the regular hill on my little red coaster, and I go, "You want to go up?" And he goes, "I'm all right. I'm just gonna wait down here for you."
That was a mistake. He should have sent you first. You send a scout. What are you, stupid? You don't send the
No,
general first.
no, he's
General
my
doesn't
dad
go
is
across
Clark
the
Giz. No, my dad is Clark Griswold that way, right? He's going to show me, look, this is the way everybody needs it. It was a Christmas story vibe to it. And he
Yeah.
just sends himself straight over the edge. It was beautiful. One of my favorite memories to this day. Watching the old man bounce up and down the hill, crying the whole ride. I'm a monster, Jamie Killer. You were right in the first few minutes.
I was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much always right.
Mhm.
I got lost in Schrader's stories. I don't even remember how my last 2 weeks. We didn't do anything. It's been raining and cold and crappy outside, and it's been watched. Oh, last night I watched Equalizer 1 and Equalizer 2 back to back. So
I never saw it too.
It's a lot like one, but
remember
twice as
one?
fun.
Somebody gets equalized. I don't know what it is, but it made me feel like I watched the first one and I was like, it's such a good premise when a heroic guy kind of gives somebody their comeuppance, because we know it doesn't really happen in real life. Like
Mhm.
nobody ever gets their comeuppance. They just
I don't know. You put it to that guy at Niagara Falls pretty good.
he did. He walked away. The guy didn't care at all. Then I told him straight. Did you hear this? We're one of the most. We're sitting there. I'm looking at like one of the most beautiful pieces of nature you can see on Earth. I'm looking at Niagara Falls. Everyone's just there. We're just taking it in, basking. And I look over and this dude goes off his cigarette and then flicks it on the ground. And I flipped out. And I was like, come on, man, you're better than that. He goes,
So from my side, Mulligan and Trevor and I were coming up the hill, and from the way that Jamie was standing and the angle of it, it looked, because the guy was wearing a pink rain poncho, it looked like he was yelling at a small child. And Mulligan and I are like, "Oh no, he's finally Grandpa snapped."
I said, hey, man, pick that up. You're better than that. And then he was like, what? And I said, come on, man, look where we are. What are you doing? But you know what's funny? I feel like that is nobody cares about anybody else anymore. Here's what I'll tell you. So here in California, here's one of my biggest pet peeves about California is that people stay in the far left lane. If you're in the carpool lane and everybody on the freeway is passing you and you're in the carpool lane,
Mhm.
you know, this is for everybody. Legally, you don't have to. If you have more than one people, it's not a mandatory. You don't have to go into the carpool lane and go 50 miles an hour, dick. Everyone's gonna yes, everyone agrees with this. And you're behind them in the carpool, supposed to be the fast lane, and everyone's on the other side going right by you, and you're like behind this guy. And then when you go by him, you give him the what the is in your head? And he's like, what? I don't even know why they make cars with rear view mirrors anymore, because why do people don't care about anybody else anymore? Do you feel that way?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When cell phones first came out, if your phone rang, you'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry, excuse me. And you would step outside. I have a call. I'll be right back. And you step outside. Now you're in like a tiny waiting room, and the guy just picks it up and goes, "Yeah, you're on speakerphone." And the guy, and you're like, "Yeah, I got it." And you're like, dude, what do you? So when people do that and they're sitting next to me, I just start talking to myself really loud. I just go, "Hey, Jamie, how's your day going?" "It's very good." "How is your day going?" And then the guy looks over. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Pull your shit together."
So I'm going to
God,
ask you, you just go ahead.
I
and
wanna
get
hug
yourself
him.
A drink that 3
Yeah,
days
please.
was too long.
Nah.
Steam. Did you see the steam? There was legitimately the head turned cherry red. Smoke started to billow.
Dude, I don't know what it is. And so I immediately, after I watched both Equalizers last night, I Googled, is there an Equalizer 3? And guess what?
Is this
There
where
is.
is this where Denzel meets Queen Latifah in kind of a Highlander crossover?
Is Latifah in it?
She's in the TV show. She's the Equalizer on the TV series.
Oh, which, by the way, I mean, come on. The same with listen, I like Queen Latifah. I like her. She seems like a very nice person. But, I haven't seen the show. Is she doing like the martial arts, jujitsu fight stuff that you're like, well, obviously she's going to
No, she just takes her slipper off and throws it across the room.
Well, I watched The Watchmen, which I love too.
And
the woman, there was like there's a woman like in her 50s or something, and she's like I don't know, she's like a martial arts expert or something. And at some point, she's like kicking like there's like government agent guys who are like obviously jacked. I don't know. This one's Denzel Washington. You're like, yeah. Not only is he the greatest actor of our generation, I could watch that dude. He's up. He's in the top tier. Never seen. Name one bad performance by Denzel Washington. Go.
In front of his tax man, there was that performance. It didn't go well.
What, he didn't pay some taxes?
Something like that.
In a movie?
No, I don't know. I've seen a couple of his roles. Yeah, I'm not.
Come on, Equalizer 1. With he takes on the crazy Russians. Please, gold, solid gold, and he's kind of autistic. And he's counting the time, and he's going 8 seconds in his head, and then he starts killing people. Oh, it's gold. Kills a dude with a corkscrew right up through the face. But it's Denzel, so he's doing it, but it's not like a Steven Seagal. It's so well acted that you believe he's killing that dude. This is a guy who's got Academy Awards, and he's killing a dude with a corkscrew. Gold. The only Queen Latifah thing I can ever think of is in Taxi, where she says, "Buckle up for safety, Mother Blanca." I say it to my kids. You know what? Honestly, maybe her best movie. I like Queen Latifah.
House Sitter. She's pretty good in House Sitter with Steve Martin.
Actually, a very funny movie, and I do like her a lot. But this whole like Liam Neeson, you kind of buy. Denzel Washington, I kind of buy. I don't know.
You okay?
I do really enjoy when people get their comeuppance, when they're totally socially just dicks, man. We're like, even today, I don't know if you guys are watching. I mean, we don't go into politics much, but there's like 5 or 6 people who are holding the Republican Party hostage. They just were like, I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I don't care what you say. I'm not going along with the program. I don't care. And I feel like that's the nature of today's world, where it doesn't matter what you say, that whatever you say, there's going to be a 51-49% split. Like, people just come at you in the same vehement way, anger, that they do joy about even if you have like the most mundane act. And people are still like, how can you say that about airplanes? Or,
Yeah. Do you know how many people work their asses off?
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. Engvall talking. Well, Engvall's doing the show next week, Dave. Maybe you have to pop in and say hi to him.
That's because we're in an entitled world. We're in a world where people feel like their thoughts count. And it used to be where you just realized your place in civilization. You're a shoe salesman. Shut up and just sell shoes. And, I don't need to hear your, proclamation on all this stuff. And everybody wants to fight about everything. I honestly believe we need to remove the national anthem and put in Groucho Marx, whatever it is, I'm against it, because that is the new national anthem. Whatever you say, I'm against it. I won't go for that. I joke on our Friday night show.
It's the Monty Python bit, the contradictory. No, you're just, you came in for an argument. He goes, you come in for an argument. I paid for an argument. I'm going to get one. He goes, no, you didn't. I just paid you. No, you didn't. I see what you're doing. No, you don't. Yeah, it's such a Monty Python sketch. and you're in the middle of it going, what is happening? Why can't people
Well,
just go, yeah? They
I
can't
love
even
when
agree
people.
on a speaker. They can't even agree. Like 5 dudes are like, no, we don't like you. And they voted for a different guy. And that guy said, don't vote for me. I'm voting for him. I don't want it. We all want him, except for you 5 people. What are you doing? And they're like, no, we don't care. We're not playing. It's so fun to watch. I love watching it.
So 2023 is off to a great start. Kaler has come in completely unhinged.
I'm gonna
Totally unglued.
My kids are going back to school tomorrow. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you, Dave.
What are you gonna do? Right after you send them off, are you just like walking around naked in the house, drinking straight out of the bottle? What are you doing?
No, you didn't hear. I quit drinking New Year's Eve. You didn't hear that? You didn't get that message?
Yeah, for 3 days. But now the kids are gone. All bets are off. That's my thought.
I mean, maybe
I would agree. I agree with Trader.
How long can I have you been drinking this week, Jason? Did you drink for New Year's Eve?
Yes, I got Trevored.
Your problem is you live near Trevor. That's a dangerous.
Well, I went in specifically just to pick up dinner, and then I stayed for 6 hours. Dinner never made it home.
What's funny, anybody who's watching this show probably think that's how the eyebrow incident happened, but
no, happened beforehand.
Can we get the full unadulterated story of the eyebrow?
Yeah. So I asked my eldest child to help me shave the back of my head, and I was unaware that, and he's done it before. He does a pretty good job, and I was unaware that at some point during that he handed the second pair of clippers to the Dark Lord, age 3, and I looked up, thinking that it was Jay standing in front of me, and Dark Lord looked me straight in the eye and just went zip and took the eyebrow out. Here is the video of me realizing what has happened. What are you doing? What are you doing? No! Dark Lord, give it to me. No. Give it to me. Give it to me. That is the Got it. Oh, Schrader, you're muted.
You're muted, buddy.
I love that you weren't going to be bothered to get up and get it from him. You were just going to sit there and hold him by the ankle.
He lassos the kid and drags him back.
I just pulled on his pant legs until it went my way.
Do you know how the story? You know what you're supposed to do. All the parenting books tell you, and this is a very specific case. If a kid does that to you, you're supposed to shave that kid's head.
What? Can I do this?
You're supposed to teach a kid a lesson and shave their head.
I was pretty adamant.
Let me look in the guidebook.
Yeah, check the guidebook, Dave. See what it says about shaving the kid's head.
Right here. In the event that a child shaves your eyebrow, you should immediately shave his head. Kaler knows his stuff.
I do.
Can you please screen capture that and send it to my wife, because she told me I couldn't.
Also, why wouldn't you shave your other eyebrow an even amount?
Because then I just look continuously surprised.
Cover the other half of your other little eyebrow there.
Well, I had been drawing it in with like one of those eyeliner pencils, and it worked pretty well, but I forgot to do it today. And also, I thought for the show, you'd probably want to see it on natural.
You know, famously, I think Bob Geldof shaved his off for the wall, right?
Yeah.
And they did not grow back for a long time. It took them. What's funny is I should shave mine, because I'm going to tell you right now, I get them trimmed every haircut, and by the next haircut, they're like little spider curtains that are hanging over my eyes. I'm Andy Rooney. That cannot stop them, man.
I know. I have the same issues. I'm at the point where I'm avoiding the comb over. I'm just going to start brushing them straight up over the top of my head.
Hold on. Jamie Lynn for the joke of the night so far. Is that what happened to Dave's hair? Did you give somebody your clippers, Dave?
Yeah, my kids. I actually had one of those eyebrow trimmers, and my kid did a similar thing to me. Somebody had been messing with my stuff, because kids are kids. And there's a guide on it. Well, they had taken the one guide off and put the other guide on. So I have my eyebrow trimmer, and I'm talking to them, and then I look up, and the whole eyebrow is gone. And I looked down, and I'm like, what? And then I looked, and my son's standing there, and I go, did you change my guide? No. And then you gotta make it. That's a moment when you gotta make a declaration. Do I just go with one crazy arched? Because my eyebrows are expressive, man.
Dude,
They
And I
are,
only had,
yeah.
I only
They're like tiny
imagine,
marionette puppets.
Yeah,
right,
you got
right. It's like, look at this.
the rock.
Look
You
at
got the
how
rock going.
insane you
Yeah.
look when you only have one eyebrow. So I had to shave the other eyebrow willingly because these are so big and pronounced and dark with only one eyebrow. You legitimately look like you're Charles Manson's dad.
Yeah. I had recently I reached up and it was like a little hair was growing, not anywhere near that eyebrow and not near my sideburn, literally dead center. And I was like, oh, there's a hair right there. And when I went to like stretch it out to see how far it was like 3.5 inches long. It was
How did you miss it?
I don't know, out of nowhere. Haven't you done that? Where Dave, you must. Like I found one on my shoulder.
The worst is
my ears, on your ears. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you're like, is that a 4-inch hair off?
Yeah,
of
and
my-
you're like, how did nobody tell me? I've got the beanstalk from Jack and the Beanstalk on my ear. And it's like, it's not just like a little, like you get a couple people who have those little werewolf sprouts. It's like a good 2 inches up off the ear. And you're like, I have no hair on my head.
Yeah.
Why is nobody telling me that I've got an antenna?
That I look like a crazy person? What the?
People are horrible.
Dude, I don't know.
People.
Maybe I'll just get a piercing here right now then.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
You think it feel like that's right?
No. Yeah.
Just tell people you got hit by lightning.
Yes.
I
They
have
give you a lot of leeway when you say that.
I have a white spot back here that I've had. It was like, I think it's a birthmark under my hair that I've had since like I was a kid. And everyone's like, hey, you got a white spot. And I go, dude, you wouldn't believe it. I got hit by lightning. And they'll go, really? And I tell this, it's changed so many times. I tell this insane story of how I got hit by lightning. There's got to be people out there now who like, I knew a guy. He got hit by lightning right in the back of the head. Have you told people stories totally out of just kept it dead straight, and then years later they were like, "Hey, whatever happened with that?" And you're like, "Dude, I made that up."
Yeah.
I'm sure I have.
But I haven't owned up to what I've made up yet, so I'm gonna.
We did an interview on My Boys, and I was with the other actors, Mike Bunin and Reed Scott or something. The guy started talking about wardrobe, and I said, "Well, it's in my contract. I get fresh underwear for every scene." Or something, and they were like, "What?" And the two other actors looked at me and said, "Yeah, that's why I always go back to my trailer between scenes and stuff. I get fresh underwear from the studio, and I wear that." And then just went on with this long, crazy story of getting underwear. And then years later, they were like, we were in a different interview, and the guys were like, "Well, Caleb, I wish we had a better lawyer. He gets some fresh underwear for every scene his contract or something lunacy." I actually, one time I did KTLA News with Sam, what's his name? Sam Rubenstein. He does like the local LA or whatever. And we were being interviewed on the morning show. And he, they always at the very end, they go, "Hey, you got any projects coming out?" And the other two guys are like, "What's some project?" And I said, he gets to me and he goes, "Hey, you got a project coming out?" I go, "You're not going to believe it, Sam. I'm doing a one-man show based on Geppetto." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, everyone keeps talking about Pinocchio, but really the Geppetto is the real story. I mean, he lost his son or whatever, and he gets swallowed by a whale or something. And I told this elaborate story. And then at the end of the whole interview, Sam was doing the end. He goes, "And now where can we catch that, Jamie? Where can we catch your show?" And I go, "It's at the Magnolia Black Box Theater, Magnolia and 3rd." And he goes, "Magnolia and 3rd." And he goes, "When's it open?" I go, "January 17th. It's a Friday." Or something. And the dude on the news told everyone to come see my show. And then we finished the show, and I think one of the other actors was like, "He's full of shit." I can't believe he was so mean to me. He goes, "Dude, what the?" He goes, "Why would you do that?" And he walked away, and I was like, what is he saying?
I used to be on QVC Home Shopping Channel selling coins. I was a numismatist.
No
right?
way! I've never heard this. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was here at Value Vision in Minnesota is what it used to be called. and they had me on, and I thought, oh God, I'm going to be on TV. It's 11 o'clock till 2 a.m. Oh my God, yeah, read this.
Hold on,
says,
everybody.
This is horrible. Oh.
Jamie Lynn says, I had nose surgery last week, and this morning I had what I thought was a long hair hanging from my nose, and I pulled it. It was a stitch. Okay.
Ouch.
Someone had a worse day than we did. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you, 2023 is already a wash.
Yeah. Anyway, we're sitting there doing the show, and I'm selling coins, and we had this like 3 or 4 hour silver dollar show. There's only so many facts you can share when selling silver dollars. And we get to about 3 in the morning, and Skip, my co-host, right? He's the consummate professional. We're talking, and he goes, Dave, tell the people why silver dollars of this quality are so hard to find. And I'm like, well, first of all, you've got the great silver meltdown in the 1980s when the Hunt brothers drove silver up through the roof. You've got all the meltdowns during the wars, and then a little talked about 1967 Great Werewolf Scare in New Hampshire. People were melting down silver dollars to create bullets in an attempt to kill this creature. And he just stops and he looks at me and he goes, are you serious? And I go, absolutely not. That's a fallacy. Let's just move on. But he was so shocked. And then we start selling other coins, and we get to the Russian coins, and I go, this kid has everything you want. If you're collecting foreign currency, look at this. It's got an entire set. You get the 100 ruble, the 50 ruble, the 30 ruble, the Betty and Barney ruble. You get the 10 ruble and the 1 ruble. And he goes, is that where they got the name from on the Flintstones? And I go, what? And he goes, the rubles? I go, no, that was the rubles. I was joking again, Skip. Totally over the host head. And he was we got done, and he's like, don't ever do that to me again. Don't ever make me look like an idiot on screen.
Well, he made himself look like an idiot. What's rule 1? Yes, and we did the exact same thing on Haunted Live. We were talking about stuff, and I would be like, yeah, Dave, what do you think about that? And you'd say something. I go, yeah, actually, I remember reading about that. Yeah, it was a terrible witch trial going on in Salem. I think we told some crazy-ass stories about the houses and stuff. It was pretty funny.
No, I told the real stories. You were just like, they're coming back to me. What do I say? And I'm like, I got this. Throw to me. Ask me this question. And then I took over. Going,
yes, and yes, so they're witches. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? They're witches. I'm gonna make it. We should do that, dude. That would be. We should start doing like a fake. There's a great show. Oh God, I can't remember the name. That's not that. That's what she said. That's what I like. It's Vanessa. It's the girl from SNL. I'm debacling this thing, but she has a show where she's one of the hosts and she works. And Molly Shannon is the senior host who's been there forever, and she's the new host on a QVC type of channel. It's called, I'll have to find it. God dang it, who knows it? It's on Showtime. It's like That's What She Said, or anybody. I'll need help. Okay, back to you, Jason.
I have nothing. You've been
absolutely awesome.
Yeah, we've just been waiting here this whole time.
Now the grandpa's done shaking his fist at the kids in his yard.
Honestly, I thought he was going to go another 5 minutes. I wasn't really prepared.
We went from driving in the fast lane to putting a cigarette out on the ground to the amount of jumps. I'm a little concerned, Jamie. I think you need.
I love that for you. It's called. I love that for you, and it's on Showtime. And
honestly, it's basically up until this point, I thought he was also lying.
She's working at QVC. It's really, really funny. And the girl is it Vanessa Bayer? What's her name from SNL? She's so yeah, it is Vanessa Bayer. She's hilariously funny because you see people on SNL and you're like, I'm gonna melt down my silver. I wear every moon, dude. The silver rush. And then when Stephen King wrote that book, then they really started melting down.
Okay, quick bit of nerd trivia. Why did the Lone Ranger carry silver bullets?
Ooh.
I never watched much Lone Ranger.
But he's the Lone Ranger because the rest of them get killed. I don't know.
Every life has value. And you want to think this is an expensive piece of metal you're about to kill somebody with. Is the value worth it? And I thought that was a beautiful, brilliant little point.
That's interesting.
It's pretty funny. One of my favorite bits ever of stand-up is Chris Rock. And he goes, you want to get rid of people shooting each other? He goes, don't worry about the guns. Make the bullets really expensive. He goes, each bullet should be like $5,000. Where you go, you hate somebody, you go, man, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to start saving up. I'm going to be back in about 6 months. I'm going to shoot you dead. I think it's back in black, bigger, blacker. I don't know. I'm a little scattered. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been with my kids for 3 straight
Oh, I
years.
hadn't noticed.
I'm hanging on by a thread, brother. Oh, and I quit drinking on New Year's Eve. So
Hey, that's not a thread. That's Jamie Lynn's stitch. Don't pull it. Yeah.
Don't pull it. My head will fall off.
Oh my God.
Equalizer 2, not as good as Equalizer 1. But listen, Pedro
But
Pascal.
better than 3, or you didn't see 3?
3 hasn't come out yet. It comes out this year. And anybody see any movies? Here's what. So SAG, we used to get our screeners over Christmas, Screen Actors Guild, right? Send us all the movies, like the Fablemans or Babylon or whatever, that I would like to enjoy. But now they go, oh, it's not for the Academy Awards. We're going to send you your screeners for the SAG Awards, and the SAG Awards isn't until like February, so we don't get our screeners until second week of January. I used to get like 50 screeners, and we would just sit over Christmas and watch all the movies that were in the theaters. And are movie theaters ever coming back, Dave Schrader?
I don't know, man. They've literally closed about 3 movie theaters by us, and the last one that's standing is that Imagine, and it's horrible. The sound sucks. I'd be better off just sitting at home in front of my 70-inch screen TV and watching it. It's horrible.
Well, that's part of the problem, I think, is that TVs are so good in the house.
They are.
Yeah, but there's nothing like being in a movie theater, packed movie theater with an amazing movie. I saw American Pie in a packed theater, and we roared for 90 minutes.
1987. It was a good year. I remember that.
But I'm just saying, you see those kind of
97,
movies, you see those in a movie theater, and a good horror movie together, that's a social thing. But I think that's why movies are panned so much now, is because when you're home alone and you don't have that group experience, I don't think movies achieve the same.
Not to go full circle and bring it back to everybody. You're right. It was a group. When we went into a theater together, you look at other people and go, look at us. We're out. We're a group. We're together. We're a community. Now we're not. You know what, Dave?
That might be the deep-seated root of all of this.
Anytime you go out, all you do is you look at people, you go, does that guy have a gun? Does that guy have COVID? Why won't that dude shut up? People get up and just start yelling at things. There's no sense of community anymore. I see it so seldom where somebody goes, hey man, are you okay? Can I help you? And now it's like, well, I'm monetizing my brand. Everyone's filming their own little Instagram posts or TikTok or whatever and going, hey man, I'm at the movie. And so none of us want to go out to be part of that anymore.
Kids will watch other kids play video games for hours.
That I just don't get that.
And it's I think what we should do is we should start like a Twitch channel where it's the 3 of us playing Dungeons and Dragons from our own homes.
I think we're on Twitch right now, aren't we? I believe we're on.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We should start
now.
our own Twitch playing Dungeons and Dragons. People can tune in from around the world to watch the 3 of us banish golems and chromatic dragons.
You say that like that's not a real thing. Jeff Lewis does that. He does that on like Tuesday nights. That's his Tuesday night thing. He goes on Twitch and plays.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. And then he plays that Stardew
Not
Valley
digital.
or something.
Not digital. I mean, like we're rolling.
Well, he does both.
I think they do both, and they have a camera set up that kind of control. Yeah, dude,
he does both. Yeah, for sure.
People are watching. It's so funny because they're talking about how there's a glut of content now, and there's too much content, and it's going to scale back. So the amount of shows, because let's face it, dude, there's shows where you're like, my God, look at the cast. That show looks phenomenal. Never heard of it. It's, all of a sudden you're on like Amazon Prime or you're on Paramount. And you're like, I never even heard of that show. It's in season 5. What is happening? Like, used to be cable. You would kind of surf. I still never let my cable go because I still like surfing, man. I go to the first HBO channel and I just surf all through them. And if I see Casino and it's like 45 minutes into it, I can almost tell you the exact scene I'm going to click into. Do you do that? Where you're like, oh, they're on he just landed the plane on the golf course. Boop. And you're like, hey, there it is. Because I know you can't surf anymore. Everything's destination. So you have to go, either that or you go in and out of apps. I'm like into Hulu and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And then I can't find anything. I go back to Paramount Plus. Then I go back to Amazon Prime. Then I'm at Apple and I go, oh, that looks great. Oh, $24.99. I didn't realize that was one of the pay ones. So you're like, I'm not gonna. Oh, I guess that's still in the movie. So it's all of a sudden they're eventually gonna all just go, look, why don't we just combine this all into one platform, split the money, and we'll call it cable. Right? It feels like everyone's like, oh, you got to cut the cable cord, and now everyone is just kind of disarray of like.
But I understood that when your cable was $189 a month to watch TV. And then I thought, no, I'll get rid of it because you know what? I'll spend $9 on Netflix because I would go rent a movie. Remember when you had to go rent movies for $9? So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll rent a couple movies a month. All right, and you know what? I'll also get Amazon because Prime's good, right? And well, Paramount Plus is pretty good, and I do
Paramount
like
Plus is very good. I like Paramount Plus a lot.
Right, and you know what?
And Hulu's very good.
Hulu's good, and so is Discovery Plus. And all of a sudden, you realize
and Apple's giving out that month free trial.
And now you're sitting on $175 a month.
Plus. That's where America Facts versus Fiction lives, is on Discovery Plus. And actually, it's a really good. Dude Dad has his show on the Magnolia on there. Like so all of a sudden it's everywhere. It's crazy, dude. And I don't, all of a sudden you're like, oh, you're the old boomer sitting there yelling, get off my lawn. But it's just so crazy because also everything is subscription service. Ads are coming to Netflix, by the way. They're going to do ads because none of them are making any money. They're not making any money. They gave hundreds of millions of dollars away, and they're sitting there trying to make shows, and they won't tell you the ratings, but people aren't watching them. Like MASH had 78 million people watch the finale. You're not getting those kinds of numbers. And those ads were huge money. So I don't know. And everything's subscription.
Lucy giving birth to little Ricky had half of the United States of America tuned into her watching that episode. And the other half probably didn't own TVs.
I used to do a bit about.
You're probably not wrong.
They said when man landed on the moon, like 75% of all televisions on Earth were glued to it to watch man land on the moon, and all I could think was the other like 25% of people like, nah, Gilligan's Island's on. Like they're like, I don't have time for the moon. What's this moon crap, dude? I gotta watch. I Dream of Jeannie's on or something. Yeah, it should be literally every human on Earth should be watching a man land on. But
entertainment has changed so much now that you can't. Listen, I was on what was considered a successful series on Discovery Plus, and the amount of viewers don't add up to a hill of beans on some of these paranormal teams that have a channel on YouTube, and they've got 3.5 million views on every episode, and you're like, what?
It's YouTube. And listen, I don't blame them. The YouTube stars are like, dude, I made $25 million. That's your opening presence. Why would I ever think about going to TV? TV's dying. Right. It's dying on the vine. It'll eventually be all streaming, but it is, it's just a different business model. And you kind of have to be your own. Listen, when I moved to Hollywood, I didn't want to be like a giant creator. I wanted to be Ted Danson, man. I wanted them to hand me a script on Monday morning. I wanted to rehearse it, shoot it on Friday, then go have some drinks with my friends. I don't want to shoot, cut, edit, produce, go on scout. I don't want to do that.
I assure you that's still going on.
Dude, Dad, to his credit, man, he did that for like 3 or 4 years by himself. Shot everything, cut it, put it up. The dude was working like 100-hour weeks. So every penny that guy's ever made, he earned every penny.
Earned it, yeah.
Oh my God. And now he's got a whole team, but he is a corporation. I never wanted to be a corporation. I just wanted to be a ditch digger actor guy. I didn't want to
I want to be a cog in the wheel, not
I like going out doing stand-up, and I like acting in shows. And I like writing. I've written some stuff, but I'm like, nowadays you have to be a full-time creator. And that's why I feel like most of the content I see online is such low-hanging fruit, because it's the easiest. And you see, like, as soon as one thing kind of pops, you see everybody just which I guess is the same as TV. Everyone just replicates it and goes. If I saw one more video of like, here are the 5 types of moms during Christmas. The frazzled mom who forgot to buy the eggnog, or the woman who has too much wrapping paper, and then it's just sketch. It's like all little punchlines, and I get it. It's cute. It's cute humor, but it just doesn't have the depth that I want. If you shoot and cut, how will you ever change your own? That's true, man.
Oh, I
That's
did.
why you
This
gotta
is
have
another
people
thing.
think it through.
They called me. I hosted the red carpet at the SAG Awards for a couple of years for TBS, and I got they bought me a tux and put me out there, put a microphone in my hand, which was super dangerous. And I interviewed like Javier Bardem, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Eddie Murphy, Ricky
Didn't
Gervais.
Will Smith want to fight you?
Who did?
Didn't Will Smith want to fight you or almost
Yeah,
fight you?
So I interviewed Will Smith with Jamie Foxx and Jada Pinkett, and that's online somewhere, the four of us, and I'm kind of hanging or whatever, and they're like, luckily looking back, I mean, he could have killed me. So anyway, so during that, they were like, "Hey, do you need anything?" And so my agent said, "They're asking if you need anything in your dressing room," and I said, "Yeah, I need sliced mango and Toblerone," and that's all I said. And then so when I showed up, it was not sliced; it was whole mangoes and Toblerone. And I jokingly, she goes, "Hey, how is everything?" I go, "It's bullshit. How am I supposed to slice that mango? It's not sliced. It's just a full mango. You can't eat it." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I was totally joking. But then I came back after I recorded it, and it had all been sliced. They sliced the mango.
Oh yeah, they sliced it.
Yeah, they did. And wiped it and sliced it.
Yeah. Let me just get the seeds off of there, Mr. Kaler.
It is funny. Schrader, do you feel the same way? Like people, when they don't know me, like a lot of times they go, I think Jason's the same. We're all such in the same tone of like, is he joking? Even when I'm dead serious, people are like, I feel like you're joking. And I go, no, this time I'm actually dead serious. I do want some Toblerone.
It took me a long time to fluently speak Kaler, but I'm pretty good with it now.
You're the best.
He would call me and he'd be like, "I think he hates me. I really think he hates me. He won't even make eye contact with me." I'm like, "No, that's Jamie.
That's Jamie. He's
mind's
autistic.
working."
He still
man.
doesn't make eye contact with me. He looks at my hat line.
Yeah.
And this week, just where the eyebrow.
That's not you. I'm just on the edge of the spectrum, man. I don't make contact with a lot of people. Yeah. I mean,
you're not on the edge. You're running it.
I'm not really joking about. I've talked about that many times, but I do think when you're a comic, you see the world from a different point of view, and there's something that's made that happen. Anyway,
well, that got dark right at the end.
No, it did not. No, it's comedy. It's funny. It's funny.
Hey guys, does this mole look irregular to you?
I always love. They go, "Did you hear that comic? You heard about that comic? Yeah, it went dark." And you're like, "Well, he's a comic. Yeah, it was just waiting to go dark at any given moment."
Crazy stuff. Well, guys, thanks for having me on, spending a little time with you. I appreciate it.
It was always
It's been a little while because you're always
come on. Had I known you were here, I wouldn't have come on. I would have just let you and Jason chat for a while.
Wow. Oh, I see. You don't want to be seen with me. Is that what you're saying, Killer? I'm now Bill Engvall.
Exactly what he said.
Wow. What's the prognosis for this year, gentlemen? For everybody, not just for us, for the world. And any New Year's resolutions you guys are moving towards?
No.
Resolutions just make me feel like a bigger failure when 2 weeks from now I've forgotten what the original resolution was. And that's not going to be it. I just literally this year, I am just focused on trying to enjoy as much of my life as I can, because every day we're being reminded how fragile things are, man.
I can go along with that because
I agree. But honestly, that's been my New Year's resolution since I can remember anything happening. I've always been, it's not a nihilist. What's it when you only live for pleasure? You are a
Kardashian.
Yes, that's exactly right. I wish I was a Kardashian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I am the same, dude. I'm
optimist.
Like, prognosis, narcolepsy says alcohol. Let's see if I can go. Can I go another week, do you think, without one?
By Friday.
I have to go to a friend's birthday party on Saturday.
That'll be it then.
I think I can go another week. I'm going to try to go. I was thinking about January.
How do you feel? Do you feel better? Do you feel kind of fresh? Do you feel like I don't really know I need it?
I don't feel terrible. I definitely gained a couple pounds over the pandemic, but you can't. How many more years can I claim the pandemic as my reasoning? It'll be like 20 years from now, and I'll still be like outside of people's birthday parties, honking the horn, throwing the present. They're like, "Jamie, the pandemic's over." I'm like, "Dude, just better safe than sorry. I can't."
That's right. Yeah. That's right. You can do it. No drinks till next Tuesday.
I got to lose a couple pounds, probably. A couple pounds. I'm going to clean up.
Yeah. Don't do it.
We'll be
Don't
accountable.
lose
Let's
any.
just do it together.
Oh, listen, I'm
Let-
not going to be that guy who's like, I'm not going to drink for the year. But what if we go week by week?
Sure.
Okay.
Day by day,
We'll do,
man.
a,
That's all
we'll
you
do a
do.
weekly check-in,
A weekly check-in. Yeah.
and it'll be the grand finale next Tuesday.
It'll be a grand finale next Tuesday. Well, we'll see.
Way to set that bar high for your good friend. Yeah, let's just take it day by day. And
Well,
you know,
here's a question
should
for all the
tomorrow
other parents
should we
out
hook
there.
up tomorrow?
It's getting harder to juggle it all with the kids. Like this, they're getting to an age where there's so much driving that you're like, it's just exhausting. And I don't know, am I the only one who's like,
No,
Very-
Well, I'm the only one that can drive.
you're
here,
asking the
so-
wrong
so-
guy. Yeah.
that's true. His wife can't even drive the kids anywhere. Anytime the kids leave the house,
You either is Dave can Winnie drive?
Oh yeah, she drives.
Oh, okay.
Crazy. Yeah, no, she drives. It's just life is like a box of chocolates.
okay, Travis says no drinks till next Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see.
I am the only driver in our house.
I was a
And
fat
it
baby.
is-
I still blame that.
As the twins get older, I know that is going to eventually catch up to me.
I love that narcolepsy 27 says I am mentally exhausted. We don't know what the 27 means, but I mean we know what narcolepsy means. Yeah, we knew you were exhausted when you put the name up narcolepsy, I think. Yeah. I mean, on a positive note, none of us are Kate Mulligan. I mean, honestly,
No, that's not true. We're all Mulligan.
we are all. That's right. We are all Mulligan.
Yeah, hashtag we stand
hey.
together.
We got to wrap this thing because I got to get my kids to school in the morning. Jason, tell everyone what they should do and where they can find us and help us.
If you're tuning in on the iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, we're here live on Facebook and YouTube, facebook.com/The Parents Lounge, every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And you can catch new episodes of the podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts every Monday and Thursday.
You know, I never did our Happy New Year. I forgot we were running on TPL all weekend on Sirius XM.
We can play it next week. I'll open with it next week.
I think it's too late in the show, so let's share it.
I'll open
next
with it next week.
Yeah, we'll play that. If there anybody out there, if you caught us on Sirius all weekend, we've been doing these crazy monologues that have been playing up there with our buddy Shane Roberts. We're sending. Actually, we need to send some New Year's love out to Shane Roberts and his triplets and his wife. They're going through some health stuff, and send some thoughts and prayers for our buddy, if you would. He helps us produce that and does all the music, and he's been on the show a bunch of times. He has triplets, Dave. Triplets.
Dave
And
probably
a
does too somewhere.
I know he definitely does, and his wife she's a little sick, and so they're dealing with some stuff. So yeah, that's it, I guess. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all your kids will be back in school very, very soon, and we can just forget about this Christmas and just start saving up energy for next year. And,
Which is what we
next
say at the
week, Bill
beginning of
Engvall will
every
be
year.
joining us.
that's right. Next week's Bill Engvall, and then 2 weeks we have
The ladies from Your Mom's Comedy Show.
super funny
they're
moms,
gonna be awesome.
and that's going to be a super hot show. So, Dave Schrader, thank you for coming in and filling in for Kate Mulligan. We are all Mulligan. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next week here on the Parents Lounge.
Good
Happy
night,
New Year.
everybody.